Hello and welcome to challenge number 8 in the React challenges. Today we're going to be talking about using a single component and trying to reuse that component so that we can create multiple layouts. Now this is one of the strengths of React and component-based design. If you use a component, the ability to use it multiple times lets you save on writing a bunch of code. Now, let's look at what we're going to be making. And I am super zoomed in here. This is basically a bunch of cards, and we have points here, we have lightnings here, and I know these don't make sense, shakas here, and diamonds here. Now each one has its own number, each one has its own icon, and each one has its own label. All right, so we're going to recreate this entire thing with one React component. Let's take a look at our starter code sandbox. Here we have function stat card. So we've already laid out a kind of stub function for you so that you can create this stat card component. This is the component that you're going to use down here. Use the child component, which is going to be the stat card component. Use that 4 times so that we can use that to create all of these cards. And this is what's really cool. Normally you would have to write this a bunch of times, like, oh, card number 1, card number 2, card number 3. But now with stat card, we can do it all in one component. All right. Let's go back to our slides. Let's hit this challenge slide. Go ahead and pause the video. Go ahead and try this challenge. The starter code sandbox link is down in the code. All right, I'll see you back when you are done. Okay, welcome back to the challenge. Let's go down to the solution. Let's start coding this thing out. Over here, we have our stat card component, and we have props inside of here. We're going to have 3 different props for each card. We're going to have a label. So we're going to say const label is equal to props.label, const icon is equal to props.icon, and const number is equal to props.number. And this might be kind of weird syntax. I haven't written anything like this in a long time. We're going to use object destructuring. We're going to say const label icon number is equal to props. So we don't need these anymore. And we can actually simplify this even further. Let's just destructure it right out of the function right here. And now we don't need to do this line either. Okay, so now we have to define this whole thing right here. We already have some styles for you. If you want to go look in the Explorer, styles.scss. Let's zoom in here. We have stat card is the main card class. We have stat card stat line is here. We have span, and we have a p tag. Okay, so let's go ahead and use these. We're going to go back to our index.js, return div class name is stat card. Inside of this, we're going to have div class name is equal to stat line. And then inside of here, we already have 3 of the things that we need, icon, label, and number. So let's just start using them. Span, icon. And this is how we can display something using JSX. Just open up brackets, and we can just write it out right there. Next, we're going to use strong tag for the label. And then outside of the stat line, which is that line at the top, let's go take a look. Let's take a look right here. This is the stat line where you have your icon, you have your label right next to each other. We're going to go here next and throw in the number. So let's go over here. Let's look at here. We're going to go p tag, and we're going to say number. We don't need these comments anymore, but this is going to be our component that we can reuse multiple times. Now let's go down here into our app, and we can finally use this really cool component that we just built out here. We're going to say, let's try to use it 1 time, stat card, icon is equal to, and I'll just use an emoji here. Let's go for the right arrow. Right. There we go. This thing right here. Let's throw a label in here, label. And let's go look at our final one. We had points, lightnings, shakas, and diamonds. Okay. So let's say points right here. And we'll just name a random number. Let's go with 3,000, 2,000. But the thing is that's actually a number. So this should actually, instead of being a string, we're going to open up JSX brackets and use 2000 here. So now React sees it as a number. And with all things React, we have to self-close the tag here. And now we have our component here. We have the label, we have the icon, and we have the number. Okay. The last thing we need to do is I'm showing that this doesn't have a comma in there. We can say 2000 number. And then the way that you can turn a number into kind of having commas in JavaScript, to locale string. And that's a method on the number. Okay, so that's good enough to create our component and use it once. Now to round out this challenge, we're going to go down here. We're going to use this multiple times, 1, 2, 3, and we can just replace this with some random icon. I think it was lightning. Okay, there's lightning, lightning's number. Let's just change this to a random number, and it immediately changes. And let's do shakas, I think it was. Shaka. There we go. Shakas. We'll change that out to a random number. And then over here we had diamonds. Diamonds. All right. And there you have it. So we have the ability to use one component multiple times. And look how much code we saved. Normally we would have to take this entire thing and write it multiple times down here, 1, 2, 3, 4. But with React and components, we can do this all in one component. Makes it very, very clean. All right, that rounds out this challenge. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.